All right, perfect. So we're going to kick this off with Max. Max, real quick, let's go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them a little bit about you, where you're located.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Max Van Kempen. I'm located in Phoenix, Arizona.
Awesome, man. And I know you have a son. Tell him,
Yeah,
how old is your son?
he is 6 years old.
6 years old, man. Must be
Yeah,
like that happiest thing in your life right now, right?
that's right.
That's awesome, man. So, and then what's your background? Tell us a little bit about that.
I've been in sales before, just like doing rental car stuff and then like business to business sales. I did like selling merchant services, and then for the past 2 years before I started about 2 months ago, I was in the moving business. I had my own moving business. That was okay. I enjoyed it, that I got to kind of do something that we do similar here, just kind of work on my own, make my own schedule, which I liked about it. But I was barely scraping by, and I knew I needed to make a change. And Frank Gonzalez had reached out to me actually through a moving job about 6 months ago, and he was telling me how good Sam was doing. And I was like, no, like, and then I finally hit the point where I was like, I need to make a change here. Like, I'm gonna give this a try. What's the worst that could happen? And then so far, been pretty good, and it literally changed my life. So yeah,
That's
looking
good
to
stuff,
help
man.
anybody that has any questions. I've been doing okay. I'm pretty hard on myself, but yeah, no, it's definitely changed my life. So
That's awesome, man.
been
And I
good.
like the fact that you're humble. You've been doing okay. Last month, you issued 17 policies, and it's 24 so far for the year. And a lot of agents would like to be in that position. And you're brand new. You started in January, right? Was it January?
Yeah, I started the second week of January. I was gonna start like the first week, and then I got sick, and I was like, all right, let's just do one more week. Like, I was pretty nervous too, starting off. I was like, I don't know, like, but yeah, once I got started and got my first sale, I was like, oh, like, it's pretty good right here. All right. So
Yeah, that's it, man. It's funny. A lot of us had a little rough start to the year that first week. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad you got through that and got going in the process. So, a couple of things I like. We've talked almost on a weekly basis, you and I, and the reason being is that you always call or text with questions, and I think a
yeah.
lot of people are hesitant to ask questions when they're new. What is it that caused you to just say, hey, I got it, I don't know this, let me reach out to Sam, let me reach out to Frank, let me reach out to Jermaine? What causes you to do that?
I just know that I'm new and I don't know everything. I probably know maybe 30% of this business so far, and I know that you guys are professionals, have been doing this for over a year at least. And I mean, yeah, I could try to Google search some things, but it's, you guys are just a phone call away. I'm like, if I have a question in the home, or just like, hey, what could have done better on this appointment? I'm like, yeah, Sam and you and everyone's helped me a lot. So it's definitely, it's very nice to have someone to be your mentor and kind of walk you through things when you don't know really the answer to it, and just a phone call away. So I'm never scared to ask. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm bothering Sam because I call him like 5 times a day, but I'm like, like, you don't mind. I'll like, it's what he's there for. And it's I'm glad I have a lot of help. So
Perfect, man. Awesome. So to kind of help you scale up, obviously you had to invest in leads, you had to have a schedule,
mm.
and then you had to do some training. So talk to us about what that was like initially as you're getting started and you're thinking, okay, how do I get some training? How do I, what leads do I need to get? Tell us a little bit about what leads you started out with. I know you made some change to your lead strategy, which I'll touch on here shortly. And
Okay.
then schedule wise, how did you kind of make sure you prioritize so you could get out there and help some families?
Yeah, so basically with my schedule, I have my son Mondays and Tuesdays, so that's kind of like my weekend. Like, I pick him up in about an hour from today. But usually like Wednesdays I'll have a call day. I started with like 1 month old internet leads. Would get about 100 at a time or so, and then I'd set for my next day, Thursday, and then Friday I would call all day to try to set for Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, just my first couple weeks, Sam just told me to go with the like 1 to 3 month old leads. And I feel like that's best for everyone, just because you get a lot of people kind of like, oh, I'm not interested, or I don't know what you're talking about. But like, least gets you comfortable on the phone. Like every call day, I'm like still a little nervous right when I start, but then it's just like the repetition, and then you just yeah, with those leads you can have some success with them, and it just gets you comfortable on the phone. So yeah, that's what I started with, and then kind of moved to instant internet leads, and then made my way into some other avenues now. But it's good starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that that's so crucial what you did, because a lot of people, one, they don't have a schedule. It's kind of ad hoc, right? And then they don't treat it like it's a business and a full-time job. It's just kind of like a hobby. So you knew, okay, I have my son these days, so that's my weekend with my son, focus on him, critical age 6. And then the rest of the week I'm going to work, and this is going to be my schedule.
Right.
So I like that you did that and you put that in place up front. And then were you nervous about investing in leads? Were you anxious at all? Or are you just like, hey man, put it all on black. I'm good. Let's go.
Like luckily, I mean, when I first started, I literally had like $200 in my bank account, and Frank was nice enough to help me with like a couple $100 just to get me started, and obviously been able to pay him back since then, even though he didn't expect it. But I treated it like my first batch like it was my own money, and then the second week I made money my first week, and then the second week I used all my own money. Definitely it felt weird at first, like, oh, this is $500, like that's like almost half my rent just to invest in leads. But as you go, you just realize what you can do with that money, and you kind of start looking at money differently. I was like, I know if I invest 500, I can at least double, triple, or quadruple that investment. So it's just, you just start, once you kind of see how much you get paid on some of these policies, is just like the numbers. Like, yeah, this is weird. Like the past 2 months, I'm starting to look at money differently, and I know that this is a business. You have to invest money to make money. Like this is literally your own business. Family First Life. Family First Life is just their business that helps you run your business. And I couldn't imagine doing it without them. There's so many things you gotta learn. So yeah, just investing in leads has almost become pretty normal for me now. And I know that, you know, if I invest $5 to $1,000 a week or a little more, I can turn that money into some profit. So
Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely. And when you look at just getting on the phones, right? I'm sure you even though you had some sales experience, you were a little nervous about that.
yeah.
Were there any or I guess what would be some tips, being that you're still new and we've got a lot of new agents on the call. We've got about 34 people on the call right now, including you and I. What tips would you give that new agent when it comes to the phone dialing? What would that be like?
Just stay focused. Like, don't have anything else going on that day. Just like literally you have to treat it like it's a work day, and you just have to want to make money. Like you can treat this business however you want. If you don't really want to do much, like you're gonna not get that like many results. You just got to be money hungry and just stay focused through whatever time you start. Like take 15-30 minute breaks here and there, but just treat it like you're calling from home, but just treat it like you're at work. And yeah, just stay focused, and don't go play Xbox middle of the day or something. I mean, I was just treat it like it's your own, like a normal job. So
Makes sense. Absolutely. And when it comes to in-home, how'd you feel first time going out? Were you nervous, and what was that like?
first appointment, I was like super nervous, and then when like I kept overthinking the in-home, I was like, oh, I gotta like, because I was watching like some YouTube videos of like of different. I watched a few different YouTube videos of like in-home presentations, and I was like trying to remember each thing like verbatim of like what they were saying, and then like I got it. Like you just have to take kind of like a piece of each thing. Kind of there's like you introduce who you are, kind of show your license, and then the first thing I always ask is like, hey, what made you start looking for insurance? And then they kind of, once I get that, then it's like it's easy from there. You just have to get their need. And then yeah, my first appointment, yeah, I was super nervous. And then when I got in there, it was just a normal conversation. You're just there to kind of see what they're looking for. And then it's just our job to find what policy would work best for them based on their health. So it's yeah, it's pretty easy. Just kind of you'll find your own flow with it, and don't be too nervous about it. It's just a conversation with somebody and figuring out what they need. So
Yeah. So you were a lot more relieved once you got into that first appointment, and you know, felt, okay, all right, this is easier than I thought it was going to be, right?
yeah, I was like so nervous leading up to it for like a month probably, and then I was like, that was super easy. I was like, I feel like I've been doing this for almost a year now. I was literally just talking to the guy like, what are you looking for? So it was, yeah, no, it's very, very simple. So
Perfect. Perfect. So, and so you landed at 17 policies for the month of February. Do you have a set goal on a weekly basis, whether appointment goal or number of policies that you write, or what does that look like for you?
um in the back of my head, I always want to do at least like $5,000 in like profit each week. I know some people are doing better than that. Some people are doing worse. Just I've had it one day where I did 5 policies, and it was actually 7 policies. I sat with 5 families. So I know like the potential that I could hit. So it's just like the goal is at least 5,000 in profit every week. And then if I don't hit that, like it's just like a motivation thing for me. I always have a goal, and like, all right, I want to have this amount of money in my bank account by this time. I think that's why I'm pretty hard on myself. I'm like, oh, if I don't have it by then I'm like, like I didn't do good enough. But just have a goal each week of what you're trying to hit, and it will keep you motivated, and just kind of have a why of like why you're doing this. And um, so yeah, it's mainly just hitting like a profit margin. I would say it doesn't really matter how many policies I write. I just want to help as many families as I can, and then uh, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Makes sense. And then I know one of the things that you did recently is you added on a different type of lead. And I think a lot of people overlook these types of leads. And so I want you to share a little bit about that, because I was able to help a ton of families with these leads getting started. And it's not the one that most people would gravitate towards. So tell everybody a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I was kind of I was been doing the internet leads, just like instant leads off the CRM for the past 2 months, and they've been good. I made a lot of money on them. They're good leads. I was just getting a little bit more no shows than I was hoping for, and kind of people canceling, and just it's just, yeah, it wasn't going. The consistency wasn't there for me. So I was like, all right, I want to try mortgage leads, which is what Sam Gray is doing. And I wanted to have like, basically the plan is I want to have a certain amount of money in my bank account until I invest in like the brand new mortgage leads. So he gave me the idea of, hey, you should try virtual old mortgage. So I was like, oh, I don't know, like this, I don't know how I feel about trying Zoom and doing all that just over the phone, like how we are now. But I gave it a shot, and then yeah, like I bought all the ones in my county of the 3-month-old mortgage without image. I got about like 40 of them, and yeah, I got 2 policies, wrote 2 policies off that, or 3 policies off of that investment of like $200. And then there weren't any more available in my county. So then I was just looking at like surrounding counties. So I ended up getting licensed in Colorado. Took about a day or two. It was like $75 to get licensed, and then they had about 100 old mortgage of 3-month-old. So those I did. What was it? I've called through about 75 of them or so. I've wrote like 2 policies off it, and that was only like a $400 investment for those. And then I still have like 25 more I need to call through, but just they're all good numbers. Like every number is good. Everyone is, the clientele is super nice. Like even if they had already got it like some of them say the worst thing you'll ever get is they already got it taken care of. And then you just kind of see maybe what they had, see if we can put them in a better position. But no, I was surprised of how good these leads are, and just the small investment. Like you can get 50 leads in Colorado or whatever state of like 3-month-old mortgage for like $200, and the rate of return on those are pretty crazy. So so for right now, I'm just going to keep trying just going to different states that have old mortgage and just doing everything virtual over Zoom. And then at some point I'll get it to like do a mail drop in another state just for brand new mortgage, just because there's in Phoenix, Arizona, it's kind of a saturated area, so we don't get a lot of new mortgage here. So just for the time being, I only did it for 1 week, the old mortgage. I would definitely recommend it to anybody to try it out. I've had some pretty good success with it so far, so gonna keep the ball rolling with it.
Yeah. And it opens you up to not just your backyard, like you're saying. You don't have brand new mortgage leads available in your backyard. There's a lot of folks here in the South Florida market that don't have brand new leads available, and then they might be in a different market, but now you can basically go counties over or a state over with these second chance leads, at I think what, $3, $4, $5, $6, maybe $8 per lead max.
Yeah.
And then just, be able to go at it virtually and be able to help them. So that's pretty awesome, man.
And the fact that they're super good. Like, I recommend anybody just give it a shot. It's only a little bit of money, like they're quality.
Yeah. And being able to pivot, I always recommend, we talk about the tier system of leads where it's like we got the internet leads, that's where everybody starts. And then you want to go to, social media leads as well. And then these second chance mailers are in that same category. And then next would be the new mailers where you're paying $40 to $60, sometimes $70 per lead, depending on which one. So, well, awesome job, man. Appreciate you sharing. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? We got a bunch of new agents on here. Anything that you think will be beneficial before we let you slide?
Don't be scared to try virtual. I don't know why I wasn't scared, but I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work, but just give it a day or something. Like it's a small investment. You can even get 25 leads for like $100 or 50 of them or whatever you want to do, but just give it a shot for 1 day and just see how it works for you. But that would be my recommendation, is to try those leads and see how it goes for you. And you can reach out to me at any time. I'm not sure if you guys all have my phone number or not, but if you have any questions about it or whatever you guys need, I can answer any questions for you. So
cool. Drop your number in the chat for me, Max. So if anyone wants to reach out, they can. So appreciate you, man. Thanks for sharing. And I know you got to grab your son, so thanks for being on, man. And I look forward to your growth here. Definitely. We got a top last month. So last month was 17 policies. What are we shooting for this month?
Double that. 30
Double
policies.
that. Let's go.
Let's go.
Awesome. Thanks for being on, Max. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right. Elaine. Batter up.
Uh-oh. Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Awesome. I know you already have like 50 appointments booked for the next 2 days, and probably about 10 policies written over the phone while you were down.
Oh God. Yes. Let's proclaim it.
Cool. So for those that don't know you, introduce yourself real quick. Give them a little bit of your background.
Okay. I'm Elaine. I'm in South Florida. I've been with FFL for about 1 year and 3 months on and off. Yeah, I think that's how long. Before this, I was a business developer for a cruise company. And now I'm here with no plan B.
No plan B. Yeah. And it's funny. And actually, the fact that you said that, we got to talk about that. So I'll give my version and then you give your version. So Elaine came on board with us, and she was, kind of giving it a go. In my opinion, working very part-time. She got a great offer from her old job. She was affected. Her job was affected due to the pandemic, and things slowed down. So she was, basically laid off. And then they gave her a good offer, and she's like, oh man, it's a guaranteed check. Let me go grab this guaranteed check. And I think it was probably 3 weeks back at the job, she realized she's unemployable. Like, she can't be anything but her own boss. She couldn't take orders from nobody. Is that about right?
That's exactly right. But you know what scared me into going into it is because I don't have too many people under me. So when I got COVID in July, I realized I didn't have any money coming in. So that was my mistake also for not having enough people working for me, because then I would have not had to make that decision too. But I can tell you, I think it was day 2 of being back that I said, This is not going to work." And I didn't know how to get out without hurting anybody's feelings, you know? So I had to
No,
do it.
yeah, no, hey, I tell everybody I'm unemployable. I mean, like
Yeah.
if Armageddon happens and Family First Life is not there anymore, I've got to find something else to do where I'm my own boss. I can't go W-2 again. It's
Oh
just
my
not
God.
for me. And hey, more power to everybody. I'm not knocking W-2. We need
No, no.
W-2s. But for me, in the way I'm wired, being an entrepreneur with Family First Life is the way to go. So we're glad to
Yeah.
have you back. And we're glad
I'm
to see
glad to
you,
be back.
getting some traction. And a couple of things about you. One, you're doing really well in telesales, and it's just your personality because you were already out in front of people, selling. So you have some sales experience. And then also you're utilizing just the CRM leads. That's one of the things you had talked to me about. And
Correct.
so I think you did 12 policies last month, if I remember correctly, and 23, I think we just saw for the year so far. So great job. Won't you share a little bit about just, leads, how you approach those, how you work those, what leads you're using to be able to have that type of success?
So right now I'm strictly using CRM leads. I'm taking advantage of all the discounts that we're getting, so I'm mixing them up. I go between the instant, the newer ones, and actually just last night, like Max, I actually went into mortgage protection. They only had about 50 of them, so I grabbed them and I've been working on those. So, I mean, CRM, for the most part that I've been with FFL, is all I use that has worked for me. I did try other vendors, but I don't know if it was me, but I wasn't successful with, you know, other vendors. So CRM, I mean, as much as people want to, maybe say something negative about it, I really don't have much to say,
Yeah.
except that they're good.
Yeah.
They work for me.
And
So,
it just goes to show you though that it's not the leads, right? It's the individual, right? And I'll be honest, there's some leads that I prefer more than others, right? But all leads work. It's just about, are you going to work them? And then sometimes, based on your personality, it might be easier for you to be able to work with a certain lead type versus another lead type, based
correct.
on the demographic of the lead. So you really have to try them all. And once you find your sweet spot, then you get as many as you can. Would you agree it's really more about having enough leads than, necessarily, hey, having this lead?
Yes, absolutely. You do need a minimum of 100 leads per dial. And also like I was saying, I bought some mortgage protections last night. They only have about 40, I think 46, but I do have leads that I bought last Thursday that I have not finished with them. I've only gotten in contact with maybe 25 people out of the 100 that I had. So I'm combining those. I do go back to my old leads. Last month, actually, I closed two of my appointments were from a year before, from one of the leads that I purchased in November, or I mean, of December of the year 20. And another one was from February of 2021. So I still go back that far and call them sometimes. Especially if I had an appointment booked with them and I'm going through my calendar and I'm like, you know what? Let me just call.
Yeah, you never
So it's
know.
consistency. Yeah. The telesales, the only reason that I think is working, aside from my sparkling personality, is actually because I'm working almost 7 days a week. I'm actually dialing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from my home, even if it's just I lock in 2 to 3 hours a day. Um, I used to worry so much about getting the 15 appointments, and I'm still concerned about that. However, sometimes I just don't.
Yeah.
For some reason, it doesn't matter. I can dial all day and I only have, about 7 appointments. But to know that tomorrow is a new day and that I can get another appointment tomorrow just makes me feel so good. It's not like a locked in day. We can talk every day. We can make, dial out every day. So,
I'm glad you mentioned that because we just created a new dial day graphic, and at the top of it, I was going to put every day is dial day. And I probably will now that you mention that, but that's so key. I mean, we have a standard schedule for people that are full-time to create some structure and flow to it, where we're like,
Right.
hey, dial Mondays, book Tuesday, Wednesday, dial Thursdays, book Friday, Saturday. But literally, guys, if you don't have enough appointment, don't be like Tuesday morning, like, well, they said I can only dial Monday. I guess I'm just going to sit here and watch Netflix because I can't dial today and I don't have enough appointments. This is your business. If you need to work 7 days a week and to go out and protect families, do that. And one of the good things too is probably build a little buffer in the start of your day. If you're running that schedule, but build maybe 2 hours, 7:30 to 9 or 9:30 every day, where in case you didn't do enough the prior day, then you have that 2-hour window where you could do a few more dials, either book some same day appointments or appointments for the following day, right?
You're absolutely correct. And aside from that, it helps with the telesales. Like if I have an appointment, so Wednesday I have appointments at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. So I'll wake up early, I'll dial because they're actually very close to my house. So I'll dial from 7:30 until like probably 8:30. And hopefully I'll get another appointment. After I come back from those appointments, I'm not coming back to just hang out. I'm coming back to continue dialing. So, and then I usually get a telesale for some reason. Um, it's just happening like that. And it's usually when they, it's like I'm not intentionally going after that, but it's been happening and I'm not stopping it. I'm just accepting
Of course
it,
not. Of
letting it
course
roll
not.
with it.
Yeah, and when you have so much leads and you're working, it's like the harder you work, the luckier you get, right? That's a phrase that I heard a lot. So let's talk about that just a little bit. So,
Okay.
excuse me, you say, hey, I'm not even trying, but I'm getting these telesales. So what are they saying to you to convince you to help them over the phone? Like when you call, what do you normally hear, and how do you know, okay, I'm going to transition into telesales here?
The minute they start pushing back on the day that I can, stop by, when I try to make an appointment and I tell them, I'm going to be in your area these days, if I see that they are staying on the phone with me, they are interested, but the date is a factor, like, oh, I don't know, I have appointments this day, can you come next week? So I usually jump into, I don't know where I'm going to be next week, but I've noticed that we stayed on the phone for the past like 10 minutes, so you have another 10 minutes. And then we can just jump right into it. And for the most part, they're like, you know what? Yeah, let's just do this. What do I need? And then I go into what I need from them. And I usually text them my license, a picture of myself so they know they're speaking to a real person. I tell them that they can go on Facebook and look at my page if they, so they know that I'm real. And then we take it from there. And I mean, by the end of the day, I know everything about them. I make it more of a conversation. I start talking about, who the beneficiary is going to be. And then we start getting into that, wife, husband, dogs, house, and next thing you know, I know everything about them. And then I usually always try to relate to everything about them. There's always something, there's always a connection with somebody, even if it's food, places you've been to, you can always find something to go ahead and gain that trust from your clients.
Makes sense. And then help them. And then the rest of it is like just doing it in home. You just kind of, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I need. And let's do this now.
Yep. Jill just
Perfect.
gave me one because the lady, that's what she wanted. And we closed her real quick. And all I told her was like, okay, this is what I need. Do you have that? And then when I was asking her for the driver's license, she's like, yep, I got everything just like you asked. And I'm like, good
Awesome.
girl.
Awesome. So you guys have two options. You could either call Elaine and find out some more about what she's doing, or if you have somebody on the phone that wants telesales, just be like, hey, I got somebody for you, Elaine. She'll close it. She'll close it for you. Y'all could do a split or something on it.
Now,
That's awesome.
it's not all, like I don't close everybody. It's don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that I get no, and for good reasons. Sometimes I do feel like if I was in the house, I think I could have done better, and stuff like that. And then there's others that I know that it didn't matter who was going to be in the house, we couldn't close them, because everybody has a different reason,
True. 100%. Awesome.
Yeah. So not all telesales ourselves.
Same thing as thing as in home.
Except I'm saving gas, so I'm spending the gas money that I'm saving. I'm spending it in leads. By the way,
Okay, makes
so
sense.
it's evening out.
Okay, makes sense. All right, that's awesome. So good stuff. And so anything else that you would recommend to these agents? We got a bunch of new people on here. I'm looking at these names on the list. Anything that you'd recommend, being that you've been here for about a year now, really back for about last 3-4 months full time, what would you say to these individuals?
You have to make a decision. If this is something that you really want to do, just go all the way in. Don't worry about the monies. They do work out. I mean, I've been using my credit cards, but now I'm to the point that I'm paying those off and just using cash for the leads. But you do have to make a decision within yourself, like if this is where you're gonna be, then you gotta go all in it. Even if not, then just get out what before you spend money and before you have a reason to talk, things that maybe you shouldn't talk, because there's a lot of top producers here, but they all work a lot. And if we don't work a lot, including myself, because I know I'm guilty of not putting in the work that I should have. I should be actually making I should have about 40 appointments a month. I should be making more. And I know that. And I'm still working. So, I mean, I know that I still have a lot more to learn, but you're either in it for good or just get out while you can, and that's it.
Yeah,
It's pretty much.
absolutely. And the way I like to say it in this business, it's like it's not a business where you should not be making money. Because of how the insurance companies pay us, and because of how many leads we have access to, how many families, most importantly, need our help, and how important what we do is, you shouldn't be in this thing and losing money or just breaking even. If you're in this thing, I mean, I understand your first couple months, right? Maybe a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
if you're in it and you're committed to it and you're working, you should be profitable. And we could show you how to be profitable. And again, going back to the original, top of the call, the goal is, and the purpose why we had these conversations with Max and Elaine is to help those of you that are 1 to 2 policies a month, and 3 to 5 policies, or 5 to 9 policies. We want to help you to get to that 10 to 20 range, and it is achievable. It just, like Elaine says, takes hard work. It takes dedication, like Max talked about. It takes having a proper schedule in place. It takes investing in leads. It takes being on the phone, like Max talked about, and being dedicated to, hey, getting the appointments you need to be able to have those families to protect, whether you're doing that virtually, telesalesly, or in personally, whatever way you're doing it.
But you
We
know
can
what?
make happen.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No
also
problem, go ahead.
retention. Try when you are helping a family, help them. Don't look at numbers. Most of the time when I'm helping somebody, I'm doing it. I'm going with their budget. I'm looking at everything, any excuse that they may have to cancel in the future. If I have to lower the face amount to, fit their budget, I'm actually looking at the whole picture because I'm looking at something that's going to be a commitment for life.
Yep,
I'm not trying to make a quick dollar that I have to pay back a week later.
yep,
So I have a good retention when it comes to that because I cannot just go in it, and I don't brush people off. I listen to what they have to say. And so I'm not trying to go for the high policies that are going to cancel and give me a chargeback. I'm trying to go for something that I can meet the client exactly where they need to be for a long time, not just
yep.
for a couple of weeks, a couple of
Yeah,
months.
no, 100%. And that's so important because chargebacks are real. And chargebacks
Hmm.
not only hurt that family because they no longer have coverage, but it'll hurt you because now you have debt to pay back. And that can get out of control. So it's so important. I'm glad you shared that really listening to the client and meeting them, their need, and not just going in there to make a commission, because that's not what we're about.
No,
It's
no, no.
family first for a reason, right? We're putting
Correct.
that family first, and on the back end we get taken care of. I shared this with Cameron on I forgot what day it was, probably Friday or Saturday. But it's a prayer I say before I go into every house, and what I say is I open the door and I'm getting out the car is, hey, God, give me wisdom, understanding, and knowledge to be able to go in here and protect this family and meet their need. And that for
Amen.
me just really puts my mind in the right state. So that way I know why I'm there. No matter what's due to whomever on the bill side, it's not about that. That'll be taken care of. What it's about is, hey, can I get in there and put this family first and meet their need? And that's what we're all about. And that's how we change lives. So appreciate you sharing, Elaine. Anything else you want to top off this call with that you think might be beneficial?
Let's get to work.
All
Yeah,
right, I like it. I like it, guys. So, hey, we're on track of having our best year yet.
yeah.
You know, at the Impact Agency and at Family First Life. I don't know if you guys saw, but Family First Life, I think, finished the first week of March at a little bit over 11 million. And their first year, they did more last week or the first week of March than they did their entire first year as a company. So not only are we as an agency growing, Family First Life as a company is growing. And so definitely, in addition to going out there and protecting families to provide for your family, look at the bigger picture of what you could do to be able to bless other people. And touching on what Elaine said, you know, she was out sick and she realized, you know what? Yep, I should have probably started building an agency so that way I'll have some passive income
Biggest
along
revert.
with my active income. And so if you're wanting to do that, you know, create active and passive income, we have an entire section in the knowledge library on recruiting, and there's videos and everything that you need in that section. And if you have questions, go there and then ask questions and we can help you with that, because you know there's nothing better than having both active income that you go out and protect and help families, and passive income where you're helping and coaching agents, pointing them in the right direction, and you're making a passive income for doing that. So appreciate you guys. Let's keep the hammer down. We are in week 3, which ends this Wednesday. We've got 5 weeks this month, just to kind of so you know what's on the clock. And let's make it the best month ever. Thank you guys. Thanks, Elaine. Thank you, Max. And thank you everyone for being on. This call will be out on YouTube later on tonight. Talk to you later.